like the title of a priest. They never fade. They never go away. Even Trump was impeached twice, the first one and the second one. Yeah? But he still remains President Trump. He still remains the 45th and the 47th. So I think generally the lesson that we as a people must derive from this week is we need to welcome the government to really come out, because what fails this government completely is the communication department. Probably there are some things that they have done good, probably, but certainly they're not being communicated effectively. Probably there are some things that the common mwananchi does not see, but that communication is not as effective, because that which affects the mwananchi is I go to the hospital, I have a patient, and I have my NHIF card. The NHIF cannot work. I am told enroll. As I speak now, I have a cancer patient at KNH in Nairobi. Yeah? And the shift share thing is not working. We have to pay for everything out of pocket. So these are the challenges that the people face. And these are the issues that the church invited the government to, that the government ought to have taken its time to self-reflect, introspect, and get exactly where are we going wrong. But not to come up dishing the police issue statement, this one issue statement, the other guy issue statement, the other guy calling the bishop's names. It doesn't help. And on this one, I identify with the Benji. Don't attack the messenger. Get the message. If it is true, correct it. If it is not true, then state the true position. Yeah? So to me, that is my take. And one thing that must come out clear is that the old order, however much that the Ruto administration has dropped the old order that they campaigned against, and they have reverted back to the same old order, I believe the citizenry have completely woken up and are not boarding that ship to go back to the old order. So I believe the government must just keep its house in check. We are told that Ruto has only been in leadership for 2 years, granted, but how many years are remaining to the elections? And I'm convinced that this time around, it's going to be hot, and it's going to start earlier. So in my take, Ruto has only 1 year. So the best thing that he could have done is to sit back, focus on this 1 year, and see what exactly is the nerve center of the populace that if I touch, I'll be felt. That is my submission. I'll come back later. Thank you.
Yes, Kabisa, your sentiments are taken. Benji will respond once on the areas you're differing with him, but I agree with you in most of the things you said. Kariuki wa Ngujiri is also here. Kariuki, the mic is yours.
Okay, first of all, may I everybody, those who have come before me, to acknowledge that yesterday was a very significant day for Kenyan politics, at least in a long time. We haven't seen the former president Kenyatta the same platform with the current president. And I think for observers, that was a very significant political development. I ask myself one question: how does that impact the optics of where we go after this? I believe that one, in a long time, the people of Mount Kenya have been asking, where did President Uhuru Kenyatta go? Where is his voice on the current political ecosystem, and what is his opinion on issues? Yesterday, in his speech, and I quote him, he said that every leader needs to now focus on working for the people and respecting the people. And while he requested the church to pray for the leaders, he quoted verbatim the statement by the deputy president. Whether or not he communicated a political statement, I can angle to what he did not say. Remember when he said that he wants to give the bishop a gift early enough so that he doesn't have to listen to stories. To me, that was coded to mean that he never wanted to be the person who comes to sort the problems of people. I can almost say...
Ken, can you hear me? Can you hear Ngunjiri, or what is the issue? Karaoke?
Yes, we can. I can hear him loud and clear. Ngunjiri is clear.
Yes. Yeah, I'm saying I tell that the former president was speaking to his former personal assistant, Gachagua, when he said that he wants to grant his gift very early so that he doesn't get a lot of noise. But remember, you saw how excited the crowd became when he got the mic, and in his usual symbolic holding of the microphone, the crowd just became elated. And for the first time, the fourth president of Kenya recognized President William Ruto, and he's never called him in any platform Mheshimiwa Rais. He never in those 2 years recognized Rigathi Gachagua, but yesterday he decided to even give an affirmation to the statement of Professor Kindiki. In as much as, yes, there was intense mobilization the previous night by an MP from that area to, a crowd that could come and give support to the former deputy president. I believe he admitted that there are challenges in the new social health or shift program that he said. In fact, he went to hospital and he was given an explanation as to whatever is happening. Some of the issues that have been raised in this transition have always existed in any other transition that was there. I take you back, listeners, to the great industrial revolution. If people decided to stay in the old ways of doing farming and decided to avoid machinery and new technology because it would make a huge majority of workers be laid off, then up to date, people would still be farming with hose, and we would never have had the significant development in agriculture today. Look at the transition from the digital, or rather from the analog era to the digital era. We had a lot of resistance because of interest. You have media owners, you have everybody in the ecosystem who was used to the old order, now resisting that change. We expect that whenever there is a transition, there will be some consequences as a result of it and a bit of confusion. But we expect the president, having admitted that he is aware that there are challenges, and he gave a commitment before the people of Embu and Kenyans that there will be a correction to it, is something that I think Kenyans should look forward to. And lastly, what does that meeting of Ruto, Kindiki, Rigathi, and Uhuru mean? I think looking at the comments on yesterday's meeting, the people of Mount Kenya, because that is where the conversation is, are very recipient to the fourth president, Uhuru Kenyatta. And I think when the president was speaking in church today at Soweto, he said that he is in broad-based government, intends to open up the broad-based government and even accommodate more people and have more people play part of it. Reading his strategy, I can almost tell that he was saying even the fourth president, Uhuru Kenyatta, will have contribution in that broad-based government. And that will mean that, the undertones that were there would come down. I have also seen the former prime minister saying, I don't know if it was today, that it is Uhuru who told him to talk to the president so that the country can be in a calm mood. That also signifies the rotation of communication amongst the three. And I think now going forward, we are most likely going to see a unit of operation in some sense politically in the former prime minister, in the president, and in Uhuru Kenyatta, backed by Professor Kindiki. Lastly, according to me, there is a very simple way to put this. You have invited a chef to prepare food for your feast, and they have come ready to cook at 6 a.m. on a Saturday morning, and you offer them and give them the ingredients they need and everything they need to prepare the food, the pilau, chapati, and some beef stew. And then, funny enough, after 1 hour, you come to the chef asking them to give you a ready meal. Yet it's only just 1 hour that they have been in the kitchen. This is funny, and I think as Kenyans, we would want to remind ourselves of 2002 when President Mwai Kibaki came into office. He was elected in a very popular wind of politics in the country in 2002 when Kanu. And in 2005, he lost a referendum. But I can tell you, and as many of you in this space are aware, when he was leaving office in 2013, everybody says that Kibaki was the best president that this country has ever had. I think that history is repeating itself. President William Ruto finds himself in a situation such as Kibaki's, where he gets an economy that is on its knees and is a hard start, and he has to do so much, put long-term interventions and wait for the people who have done economics called the rule of 72. The number of years it takes for an investment to double, and you divide by that 72. So going forward, the government, like we have had the deputy president saying, acknowledges those issues. But I do agree with him that positive criticism and correction, while also giving national guidance to whatever is happening, because we don't have an election tomorrow, next week, or next month, or next year. All of us belong to this country, and if the president fails, in fact, the economy that people are talking about will go down and everybody will have a terrible time. So it is for us all, because we have an existing government, to pray for the country, to support the government. And if anybody has any criticism towards the government, let it be criticism that offers solution. We don't want to just remain as people who will always complain without giving an alternative to whatever is going on. I submit, and thank you very much.
Thanks, Kariuki.
Thank you, Kariuki. Thank you so much. Asante sana. Benji, now we can hear you. You can hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Thank you. I had a problem with my connection. I dropped off and came back. Thank you for accommodating me. Kariuki is a gentleman. Kariuki likes to take time to put his thoughts together. He does, I think, some youth management mobilization work for UDA, the party, but certainly he's a gentleman. Kariuki says that the president, maybe let me start backwards, working my way up. The president needs some 4 hours to build a good pilau.